Overwatch Apex Season 3, energized by Hot 6, Round Robin. Today's matchup, Rogue, Mighty AOD.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Apex Season 3. Time to get into the meat of the tournament here as we have Rogue making their re-debut back from Season 1, coming in now against Mighty Angels of Death, looking for a victory, because this is one of the teams that we really do have to talk up a lot coming into this tournament on a massive win streak on online tournaments, but it has been a while since we've seen them on LAN.
And even bigger than that, defining the meta in many ways when it comes to the triple DPS. That was a Rogue standby. It took to having a couple of weeks between seasons to finally see the actual ability to see the innovation from Rogue be applied to Korean teams. We've seen the Lunatic High and many other Korean teams as recently as our recent set, the first set tonight, play that triple DPS. Yeah. So Rogue's effect on the meta is undeniable. As you say, the online results have been super, super impressive, but translating that to their first LAN under this roster, because of course, Apex Season 1 a long time ago to Veek, and Reinforced were there.
A long time ago.
As you say, that was with a different roster as well.
Jack.
So they've iterated on the roster and certainly found the sweet spot when it looks to online results, and they come in hyped. If you guys are wondering, if you didn't hear us in the first set, the whispers around are that they're winning scrims against everybody, that they've looked dominant in scrims, they've looked dominant online. Those are the two kind of different prongs of practice, scrims and online play. The LAN is where the rubber meets the road, and it's time for Rogue to show up on LAN and actually prove that they are the team that is feared around the world.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier on in the broadcast that this is their tournament with which to disappoint, and I mean that because they come into this with such high expectations that not living up to that is going to be a bit disappointing for the for the Western fans back home who have just seen nothing but dominance from these guys as of late. And if the stories that we have been hearing about their scrims in Korea are true, then these guys should be skyrocketing towards the top of their group.
And look, in a tough group, it's worth knowing their opponents today are the most beatable. It's Mighty AOD today. Kongdu Panthera have always shown a lot. There is their new coach, of course, Season 1 champion.
Hulk coming by.
Hulk on the left there. The Rogue boys are confident. They're bringing in new eyes as well to even continue to get better. But it's really interesting because, they have Kongdu Panthera, who certainly are on the up, took 2 maps off Lunatic High in our first series, and Lunatic High in the same group. So I guess their first ask today is to win and win strong. They need to win 3-0 because we could get really up in the air when it comes to the ramifications of the final matches in this group to actually work out who advances.
Yeah, I mean, not coming out with a very decisive victory against the likes of Mighty AOD would put fear into the hearts of the Rogue fans for sure. Mighty AOD definitely coming into this tournament as one of the newly promoted, not one of the teams reclaiming their spot in Apex, but as a newly promoted team, definitely on the weaker side. X6 coming out on top of that. But Mighty, it's been rough stuff for them, and really, they only qualified because LW Red messed up their roster submission.
It's a good point. There was a bit of a technicality there. They looked comfortable, but they beat Flash Lux twice to qualify, which is kind of interesting on how that bracket worked. They definitely had the number over Flash Lux. Returning to Rogue, though, they are also the Western hopeful. We are the global stream here. We only have 2 Western teams. They lost 2 slots, you'd have to say. Yeah. And this is the team that people are looking at to be very much a firecracker. So they have a lot of expectations, specifically from the Western fans, but the Korean fans alike.
Yep, well, Rogue, a lot of questions. We're going to have to see how they perform here with this first set. A lot on the line for them, for the fans and their hopes back home. So we'll hope that they can deliver on those promises and all of this hype that has been building up with them returning back to Korea yet again.
And basically we want to see them just play like they did online. Show us the same Rogue that has done the spawn camping, that has innovated the meta. If they match that performance, job done, I say.
All right, let's go ahead and hear from them.
We're Rogue, and we were here in Season 1, and now we returned for Season 3. So the difference between Rogue Season 1 and Rogue Season 3 is I think we are way better overall because of the communication, since now we are a French team, and we have better players. We got invited because we pretty much, since last December, we pretty much won everything. We haven't lost a series yet. I think we're like maybe one of the best team in the West. Because I think we are almost the best players in our roles. Like Soon is a great tracer, probably the best tracer in the world. Nico is becoming one of the best guys in the world. Them joining us is like a very good advantage for us since our dive comp is way stronger than it used to be. It's pretty known that we're playing triple DPS quite a lot, but we're ready to adapt, and we can adapt to whatever the enemies are playing against us if needed. So we can play everything. They improved a lot. Like individually, they're like very good right now, and like the way they play together, their team play, everything is way better than season 1. Like overall, we obviously want to win the whole thing, but our main goal is we want to prove everyone that we can beat the Koreans, especially Kai, who is known to be the best team in the world. So we're gonna figure after this season of Apex who is the best team in the world finally. It feels great. We're happy to be here just because we have things to prove. In season 2, the foreign teams didn't go past group stages, and NGOs didn't pass group quarterfinals. But this year, we're gonna go further with Rogue, and we believe we can go to the finals.
Well, there you have it. Looking to be the best team in the world. Already has the claim of being the best Western team at the moment. So Rogue now just going to go ahead and try to advance that success, advance that superiority to the East.
And they just want to rise their star again, because when Rogue eliminated Envious from the Atlantic Open way back last year, ending that win streak, they kind of took, at the time at least, #1 spot in the world, and they want to get back to that point, and the amount of work they've put in, the amount of consistency that they've had in the online needs to be respected, but this is where they really put a stamp on all the promise. You see the lineup on your screens, you know it, all the tournaments they've won, you look at their recent accomplishments, Alienware Monthly Melee, February, March, and April, 3 months in a row, the Overwatch Pit Championship North America, the Overwatch Rumble, everything they have set out to conquer, they have, and now they find themselves very deserving to be re-invited to Apex with this new roster. And you remember back to Season 1, the hype was certainly there for them. They went 9-0 in groups, they certainly met the hype. They went for the opportunist choice in choosing Envious when they knew that there was going to be a roster swap, and the meta changed. Mickey came in, they looked like fools, and people laugh at them for that in the quarterfinals and for their brazen choice of Envious. But we need to respect the results they showed before then, and we need to respect the results they've shown in the last couple of months.
Yeah, it was still a very close loss there, 2-3 at the hands of Envious, so keeping it very tight-knit till the very
Losing
end.
3 maps in 4 matches is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Very good, but for now, Rogue looking pretty dominant, going to look to continue that here as we get ready to take a look at their opponents on the other side of the arena in Mighty AOD. These guys coming in out of the promotion tournament, a hell of a lot to prove. Because honestly, their position here in Apex is still going to be under question. Let's take a look at them.
시즌 에이펙스에 합류합니다.
이번 챌린저스에서 올라온 마이티 AOD입니다. 에이펙스는 꿈에 그리던 무대인데 강팀들이 많으니까 더욱더 열심히 해야 되겠다 다짐을 했어요. 승강전 때는 돌진 조합을 해서 공격적인 플레이였는데 이제 시즌 3에 들어오면서 루시우의 패치로 인해 3탱이 더욱더 좋아지게 돼가지고 3탱 메타로 갈 것 같아요, 저희 팀은. 개개인의 피지컬이 엄청 뛰어나기 때문에 에이펙스 시즌 2 선수들보다 잘해줄 거라 믿습니다. 저희 팀의 키플레이어는 페이트 선수라고 생각합니다. 페이트 선수의 라인하르트가 상대 팀의 라인보다 뒤처지지 않고 오히려 압도하기 때문에 키플레이어는 페이트 선수라고 생각합니다. 목표는 4강인데 조가 조다 보니까 그래도 카드가 적은 대신 그 카드 가지고 더욱더 단단하고 세게 하려고 노력을 하고 있습니다. 제가 승강전 때 세별비 선수처럼 되고 싶어서 플랜카드 들어보고 카메라에 손도 흔들어보고 열심히 해서 응원 받아보려고 했거든요. 에이펙스 때 컨셉으로 잡고 가려고 합니다. 관전 컨셉. 이번 시즌에 개성있고 재밌게 그런 컨셉 잡고 계속 이어나가려고 하니까 팬 여러분들 저를 많이 응원해 주시고 꼭 이길 수 있게 도와주세요. 화이팅!
Well, there you have it. I mean, DM kind of acting a bit like a new runner, you'd have to say, coming into this one, trying to play it up for the camera, get the fans cheering, use that to reinvigorate the team and push themselves forward to victory.
Now, I'm hoping he's using some misdirection, because in that interview he talks about their read on the meta being triple tank, and their best player is their Reinhardt, who wins Reinhardt battles. He is in for a rude awakening against Rogue, because they're not known for much of that at all. This could be a big surprise factor here, because I don't see triple tanks coming out of Rogue too often, and their Reinhardt play is pretty sparing as well, so this is going to be an interesting contrast of styles if the interview is to be believed.
Yeah, could be another famous misread on the meta meme in the
It
making
happens,
here.
man, it happens.
And it happens from time to time, but for now, we'll have to take them at their word, say that, triple tank may be the best here, at least the best for Mighty AOD. They said they're going to work with what they have, and that's why they really want to rely on getting those cheers out from the audience to keep them energized, in addition to their hot six, as they continue forward through these games. But a big ask for them to come up with a win, not just over Rogue, but honestly every other team in their group. They really are in the most stacked set, we'd have to say.
And they're in a position where any wins, map wins, are a big gain for them. They don't have a lot of expectation riding on them to Mighty AOD. This is expected to be all about Rogue. The Rogue lovin' is what has been established with the way the meta is, with how promising Rogue have looked online. And Mighty AOD want to play spoiler. That's their role in this match.
Yeah. See here though soon, so I'll have to learn a bit more about this man as we move forward, at least on the Apex side of things.
Just put a picture of Tracer there and you'd be pretty on the ball.
Yeah, pretty much. See if he's going to bring out anything new for us.
I like to think that NA is North America, which is double funny with Rogue.
That's true. A North American team, but everybody's French.
The most North American.
Whatever. It's fine.
He will be playing Tracer. AKM is kind of the flex DPS, I guess you would call him, in that he plays basically everything. Pharah, McCree, he can play Tracer when summoned, but the Tracer will be in the hands of Soon. DM and Kariv had some good games against Flashlogs in particular, but sample size very small for Mighty AOD. It's only the promotion matches where they really showed their stripes. Nico, Genji, and D.Va are the expectations there. It's when he jumps on D.Va that they show the 2-2-2. If you look at their recent matches, we have 27 out of 34 on Winston's Lab, best resource for Overwatch information. 70% triple DPS, 25-ish% when it comes to the 2-2-2. So when the D.Va comes out from Nico. Most interesting stat about Rogue, and this is one you should take note of. Again, only 27 out of that 34-match win streak. They only have one recorded game on Assault. Single game, I believe, on Volskaya. They're 1-0. So the sample size has always been small in the Western Tournaments. People don't choose or aren't forced to choose the Assault maps, and they will be playing Assault in every set, and that's a very interesting stat to track to see if they can keep it up on specifically the map type that they're clearly not that practice on at the largest stage.
Yeah, could be an exploitable weakness here for these teams. Just comes down to whether or not they're able to identify that as a weakness, but we'll go ahead and take a look at our first battleground for our last match of the night. So
where are we going?
Tower to start things
Back
off.
to China?
Really taking their time with this one, keeping us on the edges of our seats. As we try to work it out, but it's going to be Lee Jong yet again.
All right, we're turning to China.
Doubling down.
We're streaking. We've got streaks every day. Let's see if this streak can be Rogues, though. They want to go through this undefeated. Expected to go 3-0. AOD playing that spoiler. Finally getting Rogue back into Apex after all the months of waiting. Hype could not be higher for this roster. We finally get to see soon on LAN. On Tracer, of course, was on the roster when they played at IEM. Nico, the newest member. A lot to like about Rogue, but it's all hype. It's all online results. It's all scrim whispers until we see it in Apex.
And there's a very big storyline that could be set up here, depending on how things turn out moving forward into the round of 8, into the playoffs, where Rogue could very well select Envious yet again.
Hey, Envious has to get out of group first.
I know, they do, but this time, Hulk being over on Rogue would be one hell of a redemption story. We'll save that one for later. That's weeks in the future. For now, we're going back to Lijiang Tower for the second time tonight as we jump into our first map, Rogue versus Mighty AOD.
I get it.
And here we go.
Korean
There we
Rogue
go.
contingent.
Yeah,
Nice.
the Rogue fans are catching on now. They'll go ahead and get that cheer out right at the last possible second, but going to start things off on Night Market. And we can see here Rogue right now hovering over that Diva for Nico.
Will we see anything new? You know, will we see an adjustment away from triple DPS, as you say? Nico on the Diva would suggest that, but still plenty of time for adjustments. Soon an AKM, the trademark now. I was always a huge fan of the McCree from AKM, but no adjustments to Soldier yet. Sees the Soldier taking the start off.
Seems like this might just be the comp coming out for Rogue. So double DPS, 2-2-2 to start.
That feel when Rogue's in a match and it's actually their opponents running triple DPS.
Yeah, no kidding. Mighty AOD, we'll see how they go ahead and bring this one out. They said that they thought triple tank was going to be the best, but they're going to run the triple DPS instead. But already, Sleep goes down. AKM picking up a double kill as he gets rid of the Lucio and Fate on top of it. Chasing pretty deep all the way back into the spawn, trying to get Reverser. Won't be able to get him, but already a very strong and dominant showing by Rogue as they move forward onto the point for the first cap.
Yeah, they focus on ensuring the split spawn was as severe as possible, then drop back onto the point. Get the first claim, although it is halted, so they don't actually own the map yet, despite the first DPS
Does get
shots.
stopped, but already Fate just goes off the map. The boot from Nico, knocking him down. Doesn't have the leap to get back on, but Mighty AOD, they do find a couple kills here. They pop out Nico, they get rid of him, but Urster goes down from AKM, and now soon dashing around to the sides, finds Thorncut, gets rid of DM as well. They'll be able to chase in, take out Sleep. Well, maybe not. Gets to the health pack, and actually oversteps his bounds a little bit there, so getting taken out for the cheeky hello.
And when you work in the taunt, you accept the result if you're taken out. So soon, a bit of egg on his face to start this one off. They do get the capture. They were slow. They could have had some extra percentage if one person had dived on the point earlier. Speaking of dives.
Yeah, very aggressive play here from Mighty AOD, trying to jump in on top of all of Rogue. As they get shoved back, it's going to be the sound barrier coming out from Rogue, however, keeping themselves alive. And the attack visor from AKM, finding 2 kills already. He gets pooped away, looking for a third. Let's get picked up by Wins, who actually has the double kill now over the Lucio. That's going to be the team wipe. And a very swift push back there from the side of Rogue, and making sure that Mighty AOD cannot get a cap on the point. 42% so far for them.
Yeah, Mighty AOD definitely surprised by opening with the Diva against the normal type, but it meant that AKM, after his good tracking early, had Soldier, and no one's closing space on AKM, so a maximum value out of the attack visor, already 55% onto point.
Grave into the backside, toss out the pulse bomb. The Transcendence is there to answer. Unco keeping everybody alive, making sure they don't go down. They'll have that one to burn through with the sound barrier answer from the side of AOD, and Ursa goes forward, has 3 kills already. Soon AKM and Unco all going down due to the Dragon Blade. That might just be the first cap here for Mighty AOD. They do take this out in the meantime. So Rogue finally getting halted, but already quite a bit on the clock for them. 70% accrued, just about.
And Transcendence, of course, the cleanest answer to the Dragon Blade was used because of the stick. So the stick there, the value they got from the stick from Kariv, used that big AoE heal, allowed the Dragon Blade to be powerful. So good communication, good engage just when they could, although Unco does snipe away Urster.
Yeah, gets rid of him. Just the one coming through. Several members of AOD fall low. Dam being one of them has to go ahead and kite back to the health pack. Meanwhile, the Tracer battle coming through. The hit not going to come out from the melee, but Nico's there to pick up the pieces. They get rid of Kariv, and 2 members go down. The recap comes through for Rogue. They'll keep on trucking 3 ultimates in the bank at the moment, looking for a 4th with Wins nearly having that sound barrier.
And really smart stuff from Rogue. He'll soon dive straight onto the point. Only got contested by the enemy Tracer, so got some percentage at the start, and then there was going to be no reinforcements, no positioning for Mighty AOD to get on the point, so they get very little percentage after their initial engagement. Rogue's already crept up to 90.
Yep, no stick there on the pulse bomb from Soon, but he still gets himself out there. Nice quickly time recall from Creep, make sure that he doesn't get exploded on by that self-destruct, but the rest of his team is falling down. They have only traded back 2 kills so far. Nox dashing forward, comes up with it, and now we're into overtime. Fate trying to buy as much time as he can, but he goes down the Discord from that Zenyatta, just too much to deal with, and you can see right there, Sleep not able to make it in time, even with the sound barrier, and that will be Night Market going over to Rogue, starting things off very convincingly.
Yeah, really sharp is how Rogue looked in that particular set. Did drop the point once, but then had the great answer with Soon diving on the point, and Mighty AOD looked short of answers. They tried to swerve us in the interview talking about triple tank, predictably open the triple DPS, but were stymied by the Diva play from Nico. Didn't need to jump on Genji himself. And from there, Rogue just played it super clean, super smart. You know, one nice play from Mighty AOD, profiting from the sticky onto the Zenyatta, but apart from that, all Rogue.
Yeah, couldn't replicate that exact same scenario again.
And I'm not a big fan of how Mighty AOD are running the triple DPS when they were, because DM was kind of escorting the Zenyatta as McCree, but they had no other backline to really be escorted. You know, Reinhardt, of course, with only the Winston as a tank, so kind of a scattered identity, and Rogue looked clean.
Well, they're trying it again. Meanwhile, Rogue, they're going to be opting in here for the double DPS yet again. This time it's the Pharmacy comp. AKM firing off from above with that Pharah looking for DM. One more hit on the rocket would take him out. Finally gets it. They've gone ahead and lost 2 members as Nico and Nox both fall down.
And that's with DM having the one hero who has the tech to take out a Pharah. When you're a soldier, sure, you can have insane tracking, but it's hard to outdamage the heal. With McCree, 2 shots should be enough, but didn't find them. Advantage over to AKM.
Yeah, he gets Thorn cut here. Soon dashing in onto the point, trying to buy as much time for his team as possible. Delay this cap coming through from Mighty AOD. Working up towards that pulse bomb as well. Finishes off Fate. Going to be a good opener, but Wins goes down, so no Lucio offering up that AoE heal. And the recall coming through now from Soon. Stick in here, toss out the pulse bomb, gets down onto Erster, who will lose that mech. Hopping out midair, pulse bomb coming down from the enemy, but will not find a stick, will not find a kill. Went out in the battle in the end, and Mighty AOD actually come out with the first pick onto the point. As AKM barely makes his way out to safety, but there we go. I spoke too soon. Caster Curse coming through for him. He gets sniped right in the backside. Damn, pushing forward.
It wasn't being pocketed at all because the Mercy was on the point, fighting with the rest of the crew. So the zoning battle from AKM wasn't enough. Initial capture over to Mighty AOD.
And now 2 ultimates getting ready to come through here on Go. Has the res ready to go, and AKM now has the barrage. So Pharmacy comp fully equipped. The rest of the team going to be a bit further behind as Soon tries to get back onto another pulse bomb, but actually finds Thorncut, takes him out before that sound barrier can come down. Won't keep him alive, and the barrage is just being answered here from AKM. Right click coming out from that Diva, but doesn't block enough, quickly enough. So AKM will be able to go ahead and exit
so
back
low.
here. Yeah, really playing with fire there. Almost pops himself off the map. Stays in it, but the recap has not come through yet from Rogue. They lost Nox and Nico. Both running back in. Erster popped out of the mech, but that's going to be AKM answered for yet again by Dan. Mighty AOD, they'll hold on to this point now past 50%.
Yeah, through the res as well, they weren't able to actually find positioning on the point. A lot of kills as we were tracking the Pharah flying through the skies, actually going over the side of Mighty AOD. Had pretty good structure, and this has finally forced Rogue to make a switch, no longer with the Pharah, who had been uncontested in the skies, killing the McCree, but it hasn't been enough to capture the point.
Yeah, pulse bomb from Kareev, just going to get whipped completely there. Doesn't find anything, and actually gets taken out, shot in the back by Wins. He pushes forward very aggro in on the Lucio.
They have a lot of point control as well with Primal Rage and also...
I mean, Sleep's the only one left alive here. They'll take him out. That'll be the cap on the point, but still a long ways to go. 84% is what's going to be accrued here, just about 85, as they finally get the retake. Rogue in this one for the long haul. Want to hold on to this closeout Lijiang with a 2-0.
I mean, the moment you pick up a couple of early picks and you have Winston and Diva Ultimate to control space, inevitable capture will come through. 85% still. Very nice war chest from Mighty AOD to try and defend.
Yep, AKM going to be jumped on here. As Fate goes right into the back line. Primal Rage ready to go, trying to smack him off the map. See if he can get it. Chasing them all the way back into the spawn. You can see Nox answering the Winston battle, leaping in to the rescue of his teammates, but the recap happens in the meantime.
On the other side of the fight, and as you say, the recap has come through as Rogue tried to disengage and lost 2.
So now in a bit of a pickle here is Rogue. The respawns have come up, but they need to get onto the point ASAP here. 97% Soon waiting on the sidelines. Dashes his way in. They're going to start the contest. Dame almost has the Deadeye ready to go. They're pushing in Transcendence, thrown down by Thorncut, keeping everybody alive through this tac visor that AKM has offered up on the sidelines. No one going down on the side of AOD, and in fact, they're finding the kills. AKM and Wins both falling. They get Unco, they get Nico.
Beautiful.
That'll be the team wipe just about. Nox trying to buy some time, but he doesn't have a Primal Rage, and that's going to be the Gardens going over to Mighty AOD.
And we were tracking AKM throughout the majority of the fight. He was living through a lot of these engages, but on the other side, the 5 members of Rogue were consistently losing skirmishes to the side of Mighty AOD. So some of the people perhaps predicting this to be a complete wipe when it comes to even points on Assault will be surprised to know that we're actually going to just a best of 1 on Control to decide our first map of the night. They tried eventually to switch over to the Soldier, but didn't really feel like they had the coherence that we so often see from Rogue, and we even saw on the first map of Lijiang. Now it's a best of 1 to decide everything.
Yeah, command center. All comes down to this now. See who the victor of Lijiang Tower will be.
And count the DPS, I see 3 of them, so we're finally seeing the Rogue meta we spent so many months looking forward to in Korea from the team themselves. Triple DPS on both sides. Usually when you try and fight fire with the innovators, it goes the way of Rogue.
Playtime is over, it seems, here for Rogue. Leapin coming in from Fate, dropping that bubble right on top of the point. Urster dashes forward, big deflect coming through, but Fate's going to be the first one to fall. Urster going low, a couple more hits would take him out, and they finally find it as AKM snipes him out back on that soldier. This should be the first cap coming through here for Rogue. Not sure how much AOD really want to fight over this one, so they will just surrender the first cap. Try to gather themselves back together and push in everybody pretty even across the board on their team as far as the ultimates are concerned.
A nice synchronized dive meant that DM, even though he has the flashbang to try and take out one of Genji and Tracer, just couldn't find the space to do so. Didn't die, but was just forced away. And now need to find a solid approach onto the point, which is controlled by Rogue.
Mighty, we'll see how they want to approach this one. Playing up into the choke. And Thorncut already gets chunked out pretty low. Gets himself popped back up as they try to get the push in. The contest can hear us finally coming through as DM starting the wrap around. Also the pulse bomb, not going to find anything.
Rolls into it.
Or the flashbang rather, not going to find anything, but the pulse bomb does soon. Yeah, takes him out, but he'll get answered for by Thorncut on that. Zenyatta finishes him off. See though, Fate having to leap back into safety, drops down the shield, keeps himself alive. AKM barely avoiding the pulse bomb from the enemy Tracer as Grieve actually gets dashed through by Nico on that Genji, takes him out, but it's just going to be an exchange there. As AKM goes down, Dragon Blade out, not going to find anything. The boop will finish him off. AOD trying to get the recap. They're so damn close, but about 60% here. Sound Barrier answered for the Transcendence as they just keep brawling it out on top of the point. Urster swinging away, finds wins, takes him out, soon goes down. And that will be AOD finally getting a cap here on the point and command center. 63% accrued for Rogue.
Yeah, Nico with a really late ultimate that found no value on the Genji. They held on to it till after the support ultimates did Urster, then re-engaged. They're winning this trade out in numbers so far. Back on the point though, we will see Korean Tracer backing away, and AKM does pick up the Lucio, the splits once. This will be 6v5 for at least the first 5 to 6 seconds if we actually see Rogue get onto the point.
Seems like they're going to play this one out slowly. AKM with the track visor wants to play around the high ground. Doesn't have sole possession of this so far. It's going to pop it right off the bat as the Transcendence comes down. They find Fate to start things off. Can they get more? Urster dropping in. Meanwhile, the Deadeye there from Dim, but Pulse Bomb finds him yet again.
Since Pulse Bombs have been super on point with tracking soon. And speaking of tracking, takes out Lucio as well.
That's the retake there soon. Coming up with a double kill, and AKM finishes off Thorncut without the supports there. Just no hope of Mighty sticking in to really try to delay this. So Cap comes back through, and they'll start ticking closer and closer to 100%.
And that's the clean Rogue we know, where we see AKM opening up top with the Soldier ultimate, just as Transcendence and the other 5 rush into the bottom ground. So unable to fight a fight on both the high and low grounds at the same time with their resources were Mighty AOD. And now it's up to last push territory for Mighty.
Nico going very aggressive, dashing forward. Help gets the kill in onto Thorncut, but soon pays for this one with his life. The Dragon Blade drawn out here by Urster, comes up with a couple kills, but now he's smacked off the map, gets back up, runs up, but there's nothing that he can do to block the damage coming out from that Tesla cannon. He falls. Meanwhile, Kareev
only one on
getting
the point.
the cheeky solo cap here coming through. We'll be able to contest it before it goes down. As they leap in. Kareev still alive somehow through all of this. Has not gone down. Pulse Bomb thrown out of the Nox. Really good leap away, making sure no one else on his team dies. But Nico, Dragon Blade ready to go, looking for a target, trying to dash forward, finds that Discord Orb to Winston, takes him out, but gets taken out himself. Sleep yet again, booping him to death. And it's just going to be an all-out brawl now over the point soon. All by himself there, tries to get it. Will do so. And a Rogue take out Command Center, picking up Lee Jung for themselves.
Yeah, Sun was trading kills, but was off the point. Only Tracer diving around meant that no one was sitting to contest, so the win does go over to Rogue. Finally.
Very tight-knit, though, at the end, you have to say. A very strong start on the point for Rogue there on Command Center, but it's a little bit dicey by the end. So not as clean as we saw from them on Night Market, but they do win out Lee Jung in the end, and now they can start looking forward to Hybrid. Won't see that Assault map for a little bit longer, 3rd map for them.
So they'll feel good to finally have a map under their wings. They finally played their first map on LAN and picked up the victory, even if the manner or the margin of victory wasn't perhaps what we expected for Rogue. Mighty AOD had some good ideas, but didn't feel like DM managed to get enough value for the McCree that was kind of the unique pick on the side there compared to the Soldier of AKM. So the retooling will start. We're finished with control for this particular set. We move on to hybrid. And joining us for the first time this season, all hybrid maps are available. In fact, all maps are available. No more fixed map pools. Yeah, we'll see what the decision here is by Mighty AOD.
We saw Nimbani in the first map, but it's going to be but it's going to be Kings Row this time out. So much more consistent, more tight-knit across the board. You can see right there, 53% for offense first, 47% for defense. So definitely coming out as one of the most balanced maps as far as the results are concerned.
Speaking of balanced maps, Rogue don't necessarily have the one-way traffic they have on other maps on Kings Row. 4-2 in recent times on this map, so they have dropped maps on Kings Row compared to the sort of teams they compare themselves to, like Lunatic High, who definitely have a stranglehold on one of the most prototype Overwatch maps of any type, Kings Row.
It's already a bit close there, back and forth for Lijiang Tower. Rogue now, can they take the lead in the series? Can they take this to match point already as we get ready to jump onto Kings Row, or will we see Mighty AOD tie up the score? Let's find out as we jump onto Kings Row.
I get it.
Well, it is Children's Day here in Korea.
Children's Week in World of Warcraft.
Children everywhere. Children on our screen as well, at least in the statue. Kids were out in full force for today when I was walking around. Now it's attention onto Rogues. We're going to see a replay because, again, there was still members of Mighty fighting at the last, but soon will dash off the point, we'll see. So it wasn't contesting when he needed to be.
Just a bit of a mishap there for Mighty AOD. Don't think they really would have been able to come back from that one, but you never know.
So frustrating when the margin is so slim like it can be in those overtime points, especially on a hero like Tracer that's always playing around the margins. Nox has found just the perfect spot for a picnic on top of the statue there.
He's just hanging out.
No peanut butter from this Winston.
Not at all. He's just having some fun. How many times is he going to spam it?
You know, as many times as possible.
He's got 10 more seconds.
Very apparent is the Winston in the defense, but no big surprises there from Nox.
The triple coming out here soon, back on the Tracer, and Nico on the Genji as well. Meanwhile, it's going to be Thorncut coming out here on the Zarya,
and they might actually be committing to the Kariv on the Hanzo. He's not switching after the sonar arrow.
They're pushing forward.
Looking for picks onto the triple DPS with the Hanzo. Scatter arrow can definitely do big things.
It's very high risk, high reward here stuff from the side of Mighty AOD. But Kariv already goes down, so likely going to see a swap come through, but what's it going to be is the question. Maybe something like the Soldier from him.
Looking for picks with this triple tank on the side of Mighty AOD. No consistent damage at all. Yeah, this is their pre-built strategy, is trying to get picks where possible on one of these DPS and then inch forward. Reinhardt, Roadhog, and Hanzo can all provide picks off their own back and controlling a lot of space so far as the defense has been very stable from Rogue.
They're pushing forward here, trying to get a bit of control accrued here on the point, but actually AKM going to take out Kariv yet again, the first one to fall in these exchanges. They do answer one onto Noxus. Zerster finds the kill, but he himself not too far from going down. But
AKM.
That's going to be the sound barrier now. AKM on the backside, having a perfect flank arrow. Now with that attack visor drawn out, is working his way through them. Time again, the double kill coming in as he takes out GM.
Really questionable for them to actually invest the Nano Blade and go aggressive when their comp that's largely built around Hanzo. Hanzo was the first person to die, and then they chose to engage in Mighty AOD. And now the comp is looking a bit anemic. You know, now suddenly they still have quite a long wait on these tank ultimates that charge a lot slower than the soldiers and specifically the Tracers of the world. And Nico has his Dragon Blade as well, Nano Blade available for Rogue. Dive onto Kariv, kill him first, and you feel pretty good if you're Rogue.
They can do quite a lot with this one. Kariv, in the meantime, does have Dragon Strike ready to go, but there's no Graviton Surge to couple with it for quite some time. He's going to go ahead and toss it out into the hotel. Not going to get anything, though. Zones them back, wraps them back around the other side of that statue. As you can see, but that's going to be the Dragon Blade. Nanoblade, rather, coming through here from the side of Rogue. Sound Barrier later down on top of it. He gets 2 kills already as he gets rid of Fate and DM. Looking for a third as he jumps in onto Erster. That healed an eye coming out from the Biotic Grenade. Still not going to be enough. Mighty AOD halted in their tracks yet again. Still have not had a single ultimate outside of the Dragon Strike available for themselves.
And remember, this is the map choice of Mighty AOD and clearly a pre-packaged plan. With the Hanzo looking for picks on Rogue's famous triple DPS, and the picks have been few and far between, Achilleos. They're still being first change here as the Rogue, as Kariv now takes over Roadhog duty as DM is on Soldier.
Pulse Bomb coming down soon, looking for the Roadhog, takes Kariv very low, but can't follow up the kill. In the meantime, though, Unko winning the Ana battle, coming out on top of that one.
Could just be an eco push from Mighty AOD, but we've already seen them overinvest previously.
I mean, they're just going to shove them all the way back into the spawn, get rid of DM right at the end as well.
Glass half full approach is eco push, the glass half empty steamroll by Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, when it's 50 seconds left on the clock, even having to just jump all these ultimates in to get that cap, it's not going to be a lot of time and 0 ultimates really to use on the streets phase.
Yeah, no DPS ult here. It's going to take the tank ults and some great tracking from DM, waiting for that ultimate. There's one.
That's going to be the Earth Shatter coming down to get rid of Nico right off the bat. Almost had that Dragon Blade, so it could be a very crucial one. Graviton Surge now following up, locking them down. The Biotic Grenade keeps them alive for a little bit there, but Unko and AKM in the end do go down. Wynn's trying to buy some time, can't do much. And this should just be the cap coming through, but Nox, he's got something to say about it. Not for very long, though.
It was a short sentence.
Yeah. Hello, dead. That's about it. He just wanted to drop in and say hi. So he gets taken out, but now Streets phase here for Mighty AOD, pushing into a Rogue team that has 3 ultimates ready to go.
And that's the point that you have to consider. No one's smiling on the side of Mighty AOD. One of the most claimable point A's in Overwatch is King's Row point A, and they need to invest everything at the last just to pick it up. So the Streets phase, well, you can be halted in multiple different spots, is no longer a formality because they have no ults to hold on, and, well, we've got 3 DPS ults on the side of Rogue.
Yeah. And Mighty AOD still just flipping through the characters here. You can see Kariv now over onto that Diva. Well, Swamp soon, not going to find anything. They actually get rid of Nico as he draws out the Dragon Blade. So a nice pickup here from DM with that tag visor as he finds 2. Wins goes down. Will also answer one in on the Nox. Staycam pushes forward, tries to find a kill, but gets taken out by Unko. Or rather, by himself. It was the Helix Rocket there, killing him. My eyes betrayed me for a second, and I forgot which team Unko was on.
Dragon Blade kind of betrayed Rogue as that triple DPS ults we saw soon first missed the Pulse Bomb, then Nico suicided with the Dragon Blade, and AKM got a bit of value, but they traded down with closer respawns, so bit of a botched engage by Rogue does give up a lot of meterage very quickly on the Streets phase.
It's actually progressing quite nicely now for Mighty AOD. Tracer yet again going into the back line, trying to work down Thorn Cut to get him very low, forces out the E, the Pulse Bomb coming through, gets sleep. A nice pick off here for Rogue as they try to push back out. Fake Healed and Eye coming through from the Biotic Grenade, but still yet again not enough to stop Nico. He goes forward, gets 2 more kills, he picks up 1 on the Thorn Cut. This gives Rogue some breathing room. They can finally reestablish themselves in front of the payload, force Mighty AOD to have to cut through them in order to get that final little bit of meterage there.
Doesn't look like we'll see any swaps from Mighty. May be able to contest the payload with 3 to 4 ultimates, maybe even more. They do have a Reinhardt to allow them to at least inch forward with the shield.
Maybe this is just the way that it goes for Mighty AOD. They just have to force all of their ultimates all at once in order to get the payload over the finish line. Self-destruct, the first one to be tossed out there by Kareem. Doesn't find anything for it. Goes back into the mech.
Don't get any value at all from the Earth Shatter.
Yeah, not going to find a damn thing. Noxo gets pinned, goes low, jumps back out though, and you can see Unko with that Transcendence, keeping them alive. Erster goes down, Sleep as well. Both the supports with just 15 seconds left on the clock. This is going to be an absolute slaughter for Rogue. They can push all the way back towards the spawn, keep Mighty AOD contained, and stop them from getting the point B.
It's the all-in when the enemy has no chips left. Just go all-in style here because there's no way for them to get anywhere near the payload.
Yep,
Nico getting some kills. We've seen this from Rogue before.
Just pad that KDA.
That's right. Cherry on top once again for Rogue on the defense. Could have been better. Excellent defense from Rogue. They did 80% of it very cleanly. 1 botch when they were engaging just after the cart started rolling. Will be the sort of thing that on a VOD review they'll look at and shake their head, but largely a very good defense on King's Row, a map that we definitely see be one of the highest to be full pushed Nowhere near that, not even to point C or point B claimed for Mighty AOD. So you definitely have to be a gambling man to say anything other than Rogue should go into the first break 2-0 up.
Yeah, certainly looking that way, but I don't know. We've had crazier things. Maybe Mighty can put on one hell of a defense here.
The full hold on King's Row, huh?
Get that full hold. Rogue almost pulled it off.
Bit of a double rainbow situation, the King's Row full hold.
What does it mean?
It means they win the map, but
Oh, okay. Thank you.
no worries.
This is why I have
That's why you
here
bring
is-
me in.
Yeah. What would I do without you?
You'd wait till they said victory,
This would be a
Mighty
ho-
AOD on the screen.
This would be a horrible broadcast if I didn't have an analyst with me.
Completely agree.
Thank you.
No worries.
Ever supportive, Papa Smiley.
That's what I try and do. I'll give you a nano boost once in a while. I'm the honor on this broadcast.
You are the older one.
It's true. Take your piece.
You at least have both your eyes, though.
That's true.
Would also make casting this game rather
For now.
hard.
For now. Well, I'm happy to know you're not tolerant of our future Cyclops casters.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I've already called Unko on the wrong team with both my eyes, so imagine how bad it would be if I had only one.
Oh, I shudder to think. So shudder to think.
So does the chat.
And it comes to.
Yeah. What face?
Well, look and see defense here from Mighty AOD. Pretty standard, bit of a mixed defense, no true dive coming through. We're trying to control the high ground and have Karev dive in. Rogue, well, they are going to go for the fire, but no pharmacy. It's only going to
Looking
be
for that opening shot. It's a couple of those orbs to connect.
the target selection so important with a comp like this. Waiting to see where the Discord orb's going. Right now on Winston.
They're trying to chunk him out, AKM. Just raining down hell from above.
They really DM to be able to contest now that Arna's shots do less damage.
Yeah, and he's just still chunking out the AM. You can see, though, exchange of kills coming through. Soon gets rid of Thorn Cut. They do lose the Tracer, but Fate goes down in the meantime. Nice opening 2 kills here for the side of Mighty, but they do lose AKM. 2 DPS still here. Soon will be rejoining the fight shortly. But not a whole lot of ground gained onto the point yet for Rogue. Just poking their way in, trying to work their way around this corner to get some angles on Mighty AOD, who are hiding back behind the hotel.
Yeah, because they don't have the triple tank Mighty AOD, they do have to give up some meterage from time to time to reset when picks come through. Can't just sit on the point like you do with Roadhog comp.
Just poking away at this one. Rogue can very well take their time at the moment. You know, Nano Boost ready to go. They toss it out onto Thorncut as he leaps forward with the Winston. Nowhere near that Primal Rage, but still getting some damage down as he looks for AKM. Just trying to kite back, but just too much damage, and Discord Orb a bit too late there. Thorncut lives, comes out on top of that exchange.
You'll notice that Rogue are being very disciplined here. They had ultimates up, although, as we say it, Unko does pop the ultimate, despite there being a bit of a split spawn.
Yeah,
Wins will get back.
For just he ends soon, and they're going to go ahead and exit with that one. So very intriguing to
Bit
see
of a cast to
Unko
curse
use that
moment there,
one.
because they were smart. Wins had ult for longer and didn't use Lucio ultimate. They kind of had a single pick go down and tried to be pretty controlled, but they give up their ultimate, although
There we
as we
go.
speak.
Soon does find a nice opening. The Dragon Blade comes out here from Nico, just dashing into the back line as both he and the Genji.
It was all a ruse.
Yeah. They go ahead, lure him into a false sense of security and just wipe the floor with Mighty AOD's blood. They'll go ahead and get on top of that point and retrieve the last one alive. Looks like he might make it out with his very paltry HP bar, but that's going to be the cap coming through for Rogue.
Well, now we've seen the next stage of Rogue's development. Innovating the meta with triple DPS. Now the NA ult into serious capture afterwards is their new strategy. Work to treat, Rogue style.
Is it the NA ult, the C9 ult?
You know,
I guess they're one and the same.
feels like it sometimes.
All right, well, I just unleashed hell in the Twitch chat, I'm sure, but now dashing forward here soon, poking out, looking for another pulse bomb. As they do work Thorncut relatively low, if they can force out the Primal Rage this early on, be very good tidings for Rogue as they enter into the streets.
Move on to Fate here, but for now, in position. Nox is dead. Gonna have to
Won't find a
retool and get
connection,
the formation back here, will Rogue.
Very far forward here is AOD. Plenty of ultimates as well, so they can maintain this position at least for a bit, unless Rogue can get some massive pickoffs. Or if somebody like Erster perhaps not have that nano boost available.
A choke like that, not a lot of value for Discord Orb because Reinhardt's shield is occupying the entire choke. No
we go.
ultimate for Nico just yet.
They do get Erster, actually Unko sniping him out from above, and then with a leap in from Nox, takes out the M, so big opening here for Mighty AOD. Going to be unable to use any of these ultimates, but honestly, now they have 6 of them, so they can just go ahead and respawn and get ready to push up and contest again around this second to last corner.
It's kind of been the mighty AOD story, is 6 ultimates victory and nothing else has really been working for them, which is not the greatest of signs. I thought Rogue would have to wait for Nico to build up his Dragon Blade to actually be able to approach from different vantage points, but they just occupied the high ground, got a first couple of opening picks, and have 3 ultimates of their own already.
Nico poking in from above. You can see the Transcendence coming down. Dragon Blade still ready, but actually it's going to be DM finding the first 2 kills in the fight with that Tac Visor, getting rid of AKM and Nox. Wins just going to trade a kill in onto Ursa, and DM goes down at the end, so that's going to be 3 here for the side of Rogue, looking for more, draws out the Dragon Blade with the Earth Shatter, comes down, finally gets taken out as Fate swings his way to victory. They get rid of Soon as well, so the double DPS here from Rogue do fall. AKM sprinting his way back in onto the payload, won't be able to do much, and mighty AOD, they will hold right in front, but look how close they are, and it's 2 minutes left to go.
Yeah, they have to back away because the numbers advantage was there. It's going to be a last-second contest from mighty AOD. 4 members strong for now is Rogue.
See how they can pull this off, but it just doesn't seem very likely at all. 0 ultimates here for Mighty. Dragon Blade there for Nico. Pulse Bomb thrown into the back. Won't find DM, won't find anybody, but still zones them off, and now Nico dashing forward.
Dragon Blade again already.
Fate go down, gets rid of Kariv right at the end, and that will be the completion from Rogue. Minute and 47 seconds left on the clock as they finish off King's Row.
Yeah, the pre-match expectations, I think, are coming true here. Rogue looks a class above mighty AOD. We don't get the Kongdu Panthera match. We don't get the Lunatic High, the real mouth-watering match for a couple of weeks to kind of let Rogue ease them in and largely have looked like the Rogue we expected. A couple of single ultimates, like the Zenyatta ultimate on the attack here, and some of the Genji ultimates have been a bit rusty, but everything else has been quintessential Rogue, and they go into the first break on match point, looking pretty damn in control of match 2.
Nox seems pretty disinterested. Just like, okay, give me a real opponent. No, but good showing so far here from Rogue. A couple of hiccups, you'd have to say, but that's pretty much all it's been.
I choose to take this and this reactions to the Rogue players as high expectations. They might have won 2 games, but it doesn't look like it. No one is prematurely celebrating. They know the job is still to be done here, and the work is still to be done when it comes to taking down the best teams, which for now does not seem to include mighty AOD. Lost a step, chose King's Row, didn't seem to have a great idea when it came to the attacking phase. Did not get many meterage at all, so...
No, they did not. But now it comes down to it, the assault maps that we have not seen from Rogue.
Nope.
Going to be the 3rd and final for them if they want to close this out cleanly. We're going to go to that break. When we come back, we'll see how they do perform with these 2-point captures, if they're going to find success, close this out with a 3-0, or if mighty AOD will find some ground to stand on, fire back, and take us to a map number 4. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
세상은 무서운 곳이야. 심지어 여기 눈바니에서도 우릴 보호할 존재는 필요하지. 5R15 방어 로봇을 소개할게. 옴닉 사태 때의 구형 이디나 모델을 완전 새롭게 개조한 거야. 얘들이 우릴 지켜줬어. 잠시 동안은. 둠피스트가 공격했을 때 난 공항에 있었어. 로봇들은 속수무책이었지. 모두가 널 포기했지만 난 너에게서 가능성을 봤어. 그래서 내가 나섰어. 프로그램을 업그레이드하고 마음을 주었지.
새로운 인격 모듈 설치 완료. 시스템 재부팅 중. OR15 온라인.
아니 그런 거 말고 위대한 영웅에겐 진짜 이름이 필요해. 오리사는 어때? 난 널 강하고 용감하게 만들었어. 넌 아직 배울 게 많아. 가끔 사고치고 와서 날 화나게 할지도 모르지. 그래도 난 네가 우리에게 꼭 필요한 영웅이 될 거라 믿어.
내 이름은 오리사. 당신을 안전하게 지키겠습니다. 그것이 제가 작동하는 목적입니다.
봄꽃책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
노력은 선수를 만들고 코어 i7 프로세서는 멈추지 않는 파워를 드립니다.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to what could very well be our final map of the night here, Rogue. Currently 2-0 over top of mighty AOD. Very convincing performance on King's Row after a bit of a back and forth, one bit more speed bumps on Lijiang Tower, but overall coming out with the wins. But now we get to see them on Assault map style we have not seen from them.
Yeah, looking to make it 35 matches in a row, but like you say, the stat that I found out on researching was, again, with only 27 out of that 34 streak available in terms of data, only a single win, or a single match on Assault, and it was a victory, but 1-0 is just a smaller sample size, and we've known for a long time Western pros largely do not like playing the Volskayas, Hanamuras, and Temple of Anubises of the world. So we are now visiting that particular map type. Choices on mighty AOD, who chose King's Row but couldn't really make it work on King's Row. The triple tank definitely on attack with the Hanzo as a strategy that perhaps we won't see too often or even return to by the side of mighty AOD.
That was definitely one to just kind of scrap it, be like, okay, well, we tried that. Never again. Toss that one out. But now coming back into this one, you can see those smiles on the faces here of mighty AOD, not losing their spirits coming into this set. And I mean, from the interview that we had with them at the beginning of this match broadcast, knew that there wasn't going to be a lot of expectations from Mighty to make it through the groups. Would love to make it to the semifinal, but since, you know what, we're the most stacked group. We have Rogue, we have Kongdu Panthera, Lunatic High. The odds of us making out are very slim.
We're on Temple of Anubis earlier, and we will return to Temple of Anubis. Both teams in our first set, Kongdu Uncia and X6, were frustrated and trying to take point B, but 50% was enough for X6 to be able to hold on to it at that point. Seeing Rogue on 2-point capture is definitely going to be a change of pace, but Dive Comp might do Dive Comp things, and 35 matches in a row would be an impressive statistic for Rogue to keep up.
I mean, maybe we'll see a triple DPS come out here with the implementation of a Widowmaker on the side of Rogue. We've seen this on attack and defense now on Temple of Anubis, growing in popularity. And I mean, you mentioned earlier Discord Orb, boost, damage boost from
202
Mercy.
damage.
So much damage that can be output by those Widowmakers, so it's definitely a possibility for either of these teams. Would love to see Rogue, especially, to put it to use. Let's go ahead and see if it happens as we jump on to our third and maybe final map of the night. It's Temple of Anubis.
I get it.
And here we are in eternally sunny Egypt.
Felt a bit like eternally sunny Egypt in Korea today.
Yeah, it's pretty warm out. It's definitely the springtime. Winter is a thing of the past. It's very fast winter as well.
Was a bearable one.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple days where it was just like, damn, it's cold. And, you know, a couple snow flurries here and there, but overall, it seemed like it was just a couple weeks where it was just
I know
like
Korean weather
frigid.
updates really apply to the global stream a lot.
Yeah.
They need to know. You know, that's the burning question. They're not interested in this Overwatch nonsense.
No, this is just an extension for me to really just start trying to debut my weatherman career.
Exactly. It's a backup brand for you.
Yeah.
You're pretty straight-laced. I could see you as a weatherman.
Esports is just my jumping point.
Looking at Rogue, who will be on defense to start. And yeah, I can count them. It's pretty easy to count. 1, 2, 3. 3 DPSs for Rogue.
Oh my god, look at you.
I know. I've learned. I was a Hearthstone caster. I had to be able to count lethal.
How far you've come since you got to Korea. Now I can count to 3.
Hey, as long as you're proud of me, it's fine.
I'm so proud of you. Here we go. I was mentioning the Widowmaker. Seems like we're going to have it. No Mercy, though, to couple with this one, but Kriv, you're looking to line up some of those juicy headshots. Been around from the left flank so far. Not going to spot anybody.
When we saw X6 attacking with the Widowmaker, it was more about what it forced defensively from his opponent.
He gets rid of Nico off the bat. That's going to be a very nice start here for AOD as they try to push in. Nox going down as well. Lose the Gorilla. But you can see Andy still coming out very much on top of these exchanges. Wins goes down. A nice sleep dart coming through from Unco. Helps them take out Erster, but AKM gets answered. Kareem up on the high ground in the archway. Coming up with the kills, and already Mighty getting that first tick on the point. Rogue, how much can they contest this?
The opening picks and the long run back means they got position on the point and then position for Widowmaker to have a lot of access to the squishy members of Rogue. We see Soon occupying the point.
Going back in right at the last second here. Soon already using the recall, going low. Dashes his way out, gets healed up by the Ana from behind. Toss out the pulse bomb, won't find a stick as he dies. And AOD continue ticking this one up. See Nox pushing forward, trying to just buy more time for his team, but he'll get booped off right at the last second, gets taken out. And the first cap comes through. AOD almost 7 minutes on the clock.
And AKM but spawned a lot as well.
They're going to try to snowball this.
They will.
3 members down on the side of Rogue. They're just pushing in. They have ultimates ready to go with the Primal Rage and the Tac Visor. So Mighty AOD just storming in onto the point, trying to get as much ground as they possibly can. Tac Visor out from DM. Looking for a target. Everybody hugging back around the side of the pillars. He won't get much done with that, but the sound barrier comes down, so AOD really committing forward, trying to get this cap through. Soon gets taken out by Erster, dashing and slashing away with the Dragon Blade, comes up with the double kills, he gets rid of Wins, and AOD, the first tick, finally coming through for them, gaining a bit of ground here, as one after the other, Rogue just tries to pile in, but they keep getting taken out.
The respawn times are short, but for now being completely harangued off the point. Widowmaker taken out, nice stuff there by Wins.
Gets a drive-by, but he pays for that one with his Life is Thorn cut. Takes him out, and that's just going to be the capture. 6 minutes in the time bank. Mighty AOD. Good Lord.
And if you compare Rogue's play on 2-point capture to their play on the other map types, you do see that this statistic of playing so little 2-point capture, I think was pretty clear. You know, AKM being caught overextending on defense, didn't really feel like they had their timings down to any degree of comparison to what they've been able to do and the level of cleanness they were able to pull off on the earlier maps. And the 6-minute time bank is so often a death sentence for teams trying to contest the biggest we've seen so far this season, by far.
Where you can see a bit of what looks like frustration there on the face of Nico. Head in his hand, and his LAN debut, and the first one really to get picked off there on the side of Rogue. And Mighty AOD, the floodgates open from there. They pour onto the point, and they snowball that so hard.
That's something you have to remember. They will be forced to play Assault every single match they play on the OGN stage because it is the third of the 5 maps that we play. So this will definitely be something they need to be target practicing with their scrim practice, you'd have to say, because first impression wasn't good for Rogue.
Definitely not. If they could pull off the full hold, maybe that would change our minds a bit. But either way, the defense was still lacking quite a lot of life.
We'll see how they want to open. For now, we will inspect Mighty AOD. We'll be running once again the balance between high ground control and also the dive of Winston, Diva, and Tracer.
All right, Rogue, let's see how they can match this.
So they'll be running Pharmacy and the diving duo of Nico and Soon.
See how AKM fares this time over on the Pharah. King's Row wasn't the most convincing.
His job will be similar to a Widowmaker's, trying to get people under the cover of the house next to the point. It's already a mini victory in its own. Widowmaker and Pharah can do that, both do that by patrolling the high ground.
Finds a couple shots in onto Fate as they drop down on the low ground. Fate going low, will get taken out as soon finds the kill. Nice opening here for Rogue, but can they get onto the point because of this is going to be the question. AKM finding that high ground, but he gets taken out. Thorncut from behind, just coming round after round into him.
Yeah, Unco wasn't with him, wasn't there damage boosting or healing the Pharah.
And now they both go down. Thorncut single-handedly taking out both of the components of that Pharmacy composition, and Rogue will get stopped in their tracks without a support.
AKM played as if he was being pocketed, was not, and thus fell very confidently there.
That final exit kill there onto the side of Soon, but they won't be able to get him. But Mighty already a nice victory coming through from them.
Time bank continues to tick. You're not allowed a lot of misfires when you have let up a 6-minute time bank. Almighty to play with.
Drop down right into the middle of several people with the post bomb. Won't find a stick, so Soon not going to come up with any kills. Now gets that heal deny coming out. Forces out the recall, dashes off the point to keep himself alive. While the Winstons chasing in onto each other for the DPS, and the supports are dying on the side of Rogue. They're just getting kicked off one after the other. Soon going low, melee to the face. DM comes up with the kill.
Yeah, both supports being among the first 3 to die meant that push once again was going to be stalled. Rogue looking for signs of life, looking for a compelling engage. For now, really found the formation they want onto this point A of Anubis. They're trying to get into high ground, but now being chased down by the Monkey.
The push here coming through from Nox, but maybe biting off more than he can choose. That attack visor comes through with a nano boost, looking for a hit, turns, flicks up, gets an AKM, taking out the barrage. Not going to get anything for him. The res does come out from the side of Unco, bringing him back to life, but is that going to be enough? Wins goes down, and that's going to be the Dragon Blade out from Nico. Needs to do some serious work here. Finds one, booped away by the Lucios. He tries to chase back in, self-destruct. Couldn't connect onto anybody there from Thorncut, but zones them back. And Nico goes down in the end, Fate finishing him off with that Primal Rage. As AOD still hold on. No ticks coming through. A minute and a half here for Rogue, but they finally open up with a couple kills as AKM comes back in with a Pharah, gets rid of Fate, and they'll start the cap coming through.
Yeah, the respawns are close, but this is probably the point where you back away, where Rogue was guilty of overstaying a little bit. So they'll set up their defensive formation with the Sombra on point B. 5 minutes 17, so already 43 seconds slower than the full completion on the side of Mighty AOD's attack.
Yeah, and there's just no ultimates really available for them. They have the sound barrier, but outside of that, not a whole lot of anything. Nico, you can see swapping off the Genji, moves over to the Diva. So all the damage really going to be on the backs of Soon and AKM.
Kariv on.
Oh, Winz gets taken out on the backside of the fight. Kariv just going forward with the Sombra, finds the kill.
They're going very aggressive. This is another DPS player flexing onto the Sombra like Rascal is famous for on Kongdu Panthera.
Now looking for Unco. Can he get him? He finishes him off right at the end. Good lord.
Always exciting. You see that extra level of tracking when it's the DPS player flexing on to the Sombra. They are still running single support, so it is just a large flex for the members of Mighty AOD.
Already such a good job here from Kariv. The EMP ready to go. They have the Pulse Bomb as well.
If they can trade EMP for some ult charge on the other members, definitely a worthwhile trade with how fast the claim is there. Soon is on the point, just trying to force the positioning of Mighty. On the meantime, though.
Pushing forward, looking for the hack. Look at the pop there on Nico's mech. Take him out yet again. You can just leave him in that baby deep before forcing him to run all the way back into the spawn, sacrifice whatever ult charge he has just to get back into the suit.
And the Rogue a force back again. Building up percentage. Nico changes again, of course, just to get the mech back.
But again, you know, any charge that he had towards that self-destruct is now gone. So, in some ways, that's even more brutal than just delaying the respawn of the D.Va. So that zoning tool going to be gone.
And you need it when you're trying to take down a point so close to respawns. Any sort of AoE control is helpful.
Big wrap around. Mercer gets taken out here. AKM finding the first kill. Then Sentence coming through, keeping them all alive. Pulse Bomb takes out Fate. Several on the board now.
Gone.
AOD, that's going to be the team wipe coming through, and Rogue will get this cap. 3 minutes, 14 seconds left on the clock. They keep their hopes alive, but still nearly double the amount of time in the bank of Mighty AOD.
But so impressive they can spring to life in an instant. That's what the best teams can do. They may be struggling, they may be behind, but in an instant, a full team wipe, not even with, you know, key ultimates being available, gets them the point, gets them a time back. Sure, almost half the time bank of what their enemies have, but given this is the game type they have the least time on, they will not be full held, they will full capture the point. And now we see another phase. We could still definitely see this be a closer game 3 than we might have thought.
Yeah. Well, Rogue right back over onto the attack yet again. Just over 3 minutes here that they have to work with. AOD, if they could hold them off, I mean, even if they get the cap, if they could hold them off as long as they did on that last round, they would very much drain out the time banks from Rogue.
Adjustments we see from Rogue on defense this time around. Pretty prototypical stuff coming through from Rogue. Will not be going triple DPS. Does respect something like a Widowmaker with a comp like this.
I mean, Nico didn't have much success on the Genji on attack last time, so he wants to just go ahead and start things off with the D.Va. Keep it tried and true. AKM yet again here on that soldier, so won't be seeing the pharmacy comp either. And honestly, I do like this a lot better for Rogue. This seems to be their bread and butter.
Won't be seeing a Widowmaker opening from Rogue either, so those hoping for that to come out will be frustrated for now.
Maybe in the future, but for now, just poking around, opting into the left flank as they move up onto the high ground. See though, Kariv just sitting well in the back here, alongside his Ana, keeping himself healthy, just firing off the distance.
Soon's ability to occupy the backline supports and DPS has been one of the big things in Rogue's rise.
Very low though, makes his way out, picks up the health pack, doesn't have to use the recall yet, so has that tool so he can go back in, keep poking up for that pulse bomb to get built up. But for now, it's just a war of attrition, neither team coming up with any picks, not even the mechs going down yet, but I might have spoken too soon. Nico goes low, looks like he gets himself out just in time.
There are comps here, so a lot of eco pushing happening so far.
Go finally goes down. Kariv trying to poke out, almost gets a kill in on Sun, but he makes it around the corner in time. But now the attack visor is ready to go, as is that nano boost. Do we see the combo? So far the answer is going to be no, but the kills are still coming through from AOD. Nico and Sun both going down as they just push them all the way back to the archway.
This time we do not see any ults used after the first 2 kills. Rogue were guilty of that on King's Row, but not this time. Back away. 3 ultimates in their arsenal.
Got multiple ready to go. It's about to be a 4th one here as the Transcendence comes through from Unco as well. Fate not having the Primal Rage won't be able to smack the Zenyatta away. So we have a minor window, but actually Fate just zipping his way up with his multi-charge. Goes ahead, initiates that Primal Rage immediately. AKM trying to sprint into the Transcendence, will not make it in time. Thorncut takes him out. Big opening here, but Erster is traded. They get Unco. It's just a bit of back and forth here, but the supports to be on the side of AOD here. Sleeping Erster. They're running their way back in. taken out. Sleep falls as well. Some of the Lucios gonna be going back and forth. No cap on that point yet with just 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. Rogue haven't been able to gain anything. No single tick coming through.
We'll continue to engage though because the respawns are further. Tracer goes down as well. Respawn's only now getting here from Mighty AOD.
Yeah, they gotta try to get back in here. Thorncut dropping down, goes to about half HP on the Mexu, tosses out that self-destruct. Will get taken out in the Baby Diva form, doesn't find any kills, and doesn't really get much zoning done either. And this might just be the cap coming through. No one on the point yet. They get Fate mid-air. They will go ahead and take this one away. A little bit of time added to the bank here for Rogue. Snowball, a very minute opportunity.
Speaking of Snowball, they're going to keep pushing. They want to get position on the point. Withers to still not respawn.
Soon can zone people back. If you get a big pulse bomb, this could be huge. But Grief, he's got the flank actually, but the dash forward immediately comes out from Nico, denying with the right click, making sure that his teammates are healthy, and Grief just has to sprint the rest of the way out of here. But on the backside of the fight, Wins and AKM both going down. Might just put a bit of a halt here to the side of Rogue. Don't get a single tick onto that point.
A nice formation from Rogue to back away, but of course then the respawns are coming, and there's DPS threats from the other end to have to respect. So to go down, Rogue will have to retool and reapproach. They need to find some percentage here, given that they need to actually set a target for Mighty AOD to have to attack on point B, so the more percentage, the better. As is always the way.
Griff back over onto that Soundbro, trying to build up for that EMP. They got about 30%, but you know how fast that can be stacked up. There goes Speed Boost in with the Transcendence. Pulse Bomb coming down from Dam, not going to find anything as he tries to dash back around, trying to find a single target, but hasn't gotten anything yet. But Fate has finished off Unco in the meantime. Self-destruct thrown out, not going to find any targets, and AKM all on its own. Some gets jumped on by Fate, who finds the second kill. Looking like this might be the turnaround here for AOD to go ahead and stamp out Rogue, solidify their victory on this first half of the overtime. They finished them all off. Unco, the only one coming up, not going to be able to get back to the point fast enough as that lonely Zenyatta. Hold on the second point completed here for Mighty AOD as they run down the clock.
So no percentage points on that point there. Captured. You have to get that minimum of 1 checkpoint. It was not taken, so 1 checkpoint is the win condition here. The side of Mighty AOD with 6 minutes in the time bank. The boop off of the bridge onto the ulting AKM meant the soldier got no value, was well chased down and held by the Diva. Stuff there from Mighty AOD. Now, all action onto a very uphill battle to deny it for this long. If Mighty AOD just go for an eco push after claiming point A, you'd think they'd have enough time to get that single checkpoint with an ult party on point B, but no guarantees just yet.
See, though, things going to get changed up here. Nox coming forward with the Reinhardt. They saw that Widowmaker first time around, so we'll just go ahead, have that big shield to block everybody, keep them safe. But double DPS yet again for Rogue. Meanwhile, triple on the side of Mighty AOD, at least for the moment.
So it does allow them to contest further up, because they don't all have to just dive into the defensive position next to point A, because they have the Reinhardt shield to play around. It does allow them to better collapse on the other 5, but doesn't really give them any more tools to deal with the actual Widowmaker.
So are they going to stick with this is the question. It looks like the answer is going to be yes. Thorncut's actually coming out with a Zenyatta.
They see Reinhardt now, so they now know about the Reinhardt.
Interesting decision here. Fate still going forward on the Winston, jumps in onto the high ground. The Discord Orb means that he has to retreat very swiftly, does not want to get picked off. Go back forward, poking out where he can, trying to build up for that primal rage. About a quarter of the way there at the moment. Rogue's just going to hold firm on this high ground. A very long way to go if they want to get this full hold on point A. 5.5 minutes in the time bank for Mighty AOD, but Umko goes down. That's going to be a nice opening for them already. Nico going forward, trying to get the exchange, but actually the Mexu gets popped, and that's going to be the headshot. Grief taking out the Baby Diva. Beautiful openings for Mighty AOD as they try to push in almost towards that first tick already. Nox goes down, AKM falls. It seems like Mighty might have just broken this point already for themselves.
Yeah, DM actually had the space to go for these shots. 2 from DM. Nice Helix rocket to finish off soon. And yes, this will be the capture.
So, see this one come through. Rogue just have to play all the way back. We'll see if they make any alterations to the composition, but that's 5.5 minutes. So they have to hold off this entire second point.
Yeah, defense point A on both times. First push was enough to capture. So defense point A, first thing you'd put in the to-do list for Rogue on Temple of Anubis. Now it's all about a single checkpoint capture. It's no longer to the 0.1%. We are on the April 27th patch, so you need that first checkpoint if you're Mighty AOD.
Funko playing with fire here. Creeve doesn't quite get that pop-up headshot in onto that Zenyatta. Still, Mighty AOD pushing in very aggressively up the right flank. Have vision of everybody. They lock down Wins with the sleep dart, and they take them out, and that's just going to be it.
There you go.
Already ticking up, so one on the board for Mighty AOD will take us to a fourth map. Rogue still at match point, but Mighty will not go down without a fight. The assault maps, this was the big question coming into this series for Rogue. How were they going to perform? Had been avoiding these for so very long. And honestly, they look a bit lost on Anubis.
The point A defense is the real thing that seemed to stick out to me. That was the one time they didn't look like their completely well-oiled machine. Losing out on the first push on both. Took a bit longer the second time around, but not enough. Ends up being pretty academic in the end for Mighty AOD. You do get a win on the board, which to many fans will be a surprise in and of itself.
Yeah, certainly would. Again, one of the expected weakest teams coming out of the promotion tournament. And the expected weakest in Group A. Put a win on the board, though. Keep their hopes alive. They keep the fans energized here in the audience, at least for a bit longer. And with that sound, we know that the tactical pause will be coming through.
See who it was enacted by. Suspicion would be Rogue.
That's going to be Mighty.
Suspicion is wrong.
So, just want that 3 minutes to try to gather themselves. They finally have that win on the board. Now it all comes down to this escort map that'll be coming up next.
Agency is over to Rogue to choose the escort map.
We saw how well they handled King's Row. So basically, just cut out the extra step of capping the payload first.
Rogue's time on escort, a lot more fruitful than their time onto assault. Much more comfortable in the escort lines. 12-1 in those 27 out of 34 matches that are on Wednesday's Lab. It'll be very intriguing to see where they pick.
And that's the other thing, is they do have the pick, whether or not they want to go for side or map. You'd have to expect at this point it's going to be map.
I mean, that seems to have been the trend basically every time. It gives you more agency. We only recently allowed there to actually be the ability to choose side for the team that is not choosing map. So there is still some element of choice available to the winning team.
We'll see where they want to go. Dorado, Route 66, Gibraltar, the options. We saw Gibraltar in our first set. And X6 was able to take down Kongdu and Sia there with one hell of a defense, that triple DPS defense coming out right in front of the payload spawn. Could be right up the alley of Rogue, but maybe they want to opt in for a bit more standard of a map in Dorado.
Options upon options. Still a long leash to play with if you are Rogue, winning the first two maps of the day. Still heavily favored, but first wave with momentum for them in their Apex re-debut. Intriguing that it wasn't Rogue to actually call this tactical pause. Would have assumed this would have been the time for the stabilizer. They still get a stabilizer, but advanced to them by Mighty AOD.
Man, how crazy would it be if this ended up being a reverse sweep at the hands of Mighty AOD?
That would be a result that would set the internet ablaze, that's for sure, Achilles.
Yep. Post-game thread might just everybody lose their minds.
That's usually the way when a Western team makes their debut, one way or the other. Whether it's this tears of happiness or sadness.
So far, it's somewhere in between.
Yes.
Leaning more towards happiness at the moment for Rogue. I mean, given their performance, they're on King's Row. We have to expect that with their map choice especially coming in, they should be able to find some success. But AOD, they do show a breath of life. They have that second win coming through. Whether or not that's going to be enough momentum to bring them to another win, to bring us to a fifth map tonight, is going to be the question. Seems unlikely, but still is possible.
And it does deny this Rogue lineup's ability to match what the last Rogue lineup's ability did, because of course Rogue went 9-0 with their previous lineup way back in Apex Season 1. So
bring back the Season 1 roster. It was so much better.
Hey, a blemish is a blemish, Gilios. Blemish there.
There's going to be some people spouting that on the interwebs. But still, speed bumps, first map, very convincing King Row. Assault, definitely needs to be boot camped out here by Rogue. That is probably going to be the focus of their scrims moving forward, you'd have to expect. And I wonder how much they've actually played during their scrims because of the rumors that we've heard of how good they've been doing. How much of that has been on us all?
This is information not available to us, maybe revealed in interviews in future weeks. We're waiting to see what Rogue does decide when it comes to Escort map. 66 Dorado and Watchpoint Gibraltar are the three. So Gibraltar earlier.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Great minds think alike, apparently, with the 4 teams today. We'll be returning to Gibraltar. No point A claim in our first match of the night.
And I mean, maybe this priority really just does have to do with the ability to run that very aggressive triple DPS right in front of the spawn of the payload.
X6 definitely did their best Rogue impression with a very aggressive triple DPS defense, like you say, setting a very easy target when it came to claiming on their attack phase. So, see if the Great Minds Think Alike analogy will extend to that. When it comes to Rogue, though, pretty expected there, but very interesting to see how they set up, especially on attack on Gibraltar.
All right, well, all comes down to this now here, Rogue, if they want to close this out. Not be taken to a 5th map, not be threatened by a potential reverse sweep. Need to close things out here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Over onto Escort on their map pick. Odds in their favor, but Mighty AOD with a second wind. See if they can get it done. Let's go ahead, jump onto our 4th map.
I get it.
Well, fans still chiming in here, showing their support. The Mighty fans getting a bit louder, you'd have to say, after the win right there on Temple of Anubis.
They gave him something to cheer about, so that's at least something to talk about.
Certainly did. Mighty will be kicking us off here on attack. See how far they can make it, because Kongdu and Sia, they didn't make it very far in their set. It's like 56 meters, something along those lines.
Just under the bridge, basically, was furthest push they could do.
Yeah, not even to the top of the ramp, really, after the underpass there.
We definitely have more well-known DPS players in the roles compared to X6, where we saw Choyo Bin flexing against all expectations onto the Genji. This time it's Nico Soon and AKM very much on their most known heroes in recent time.
He got play of the game.
He did. They can never take that away from him.
No, they cannot. We'll see what Mighty wants to bring forward, though.
A lot of adjustments.
Maybe
last
looking
second.
for that McCree. And Criff, he's playing forward. Maybe looking for the Widowmaker.
They don't have the full 3-peat with the Mercy, but do have the Zenyatta Discord Orb. Inches
way
around
out.
the back.
Yeah,
Hasn't been spotted, now is.
Oh. Finds that Tracer. Pop up onto the high ground. Player on the left side
Oh!
already gets the headshot onto Nico, and Soon has fallen as well. Nox able to answer one on the Thorncut, but all 3 DPS now supports falling on the side of Mighty AOD. And Karib, what a performance on the Widowmaker. Completely blows the map wide open. They won't be able to get the payload too far off of that team wipe, but good God, let's take another look at this.
Yeah, the first shot onto Nico was nice, but watch the end here, the instant double right at the end. First Ana, and onto Winston, if you don't mind. That was some insane openings.
Absolutely
they got a team
brutal.
wipe in the first 40 seconds.
Yeah, and already have pushed that payload about as far as Kongdu and Sia had managed to. Grief still sniping up from the high ground, looking for AKM, but he's going to lose out on that fight. Does get taken down, but still Rogue are very much losing out here. 4 members have just fallen. The payload is almost to point A already. But they go for the last second contest. Looks like the answer is going to be yes. As soon dashes in, but he gets taken out immediately. Fate just zapping him to death with that Tesla cannon. Does the same to Nico. And Rogue just piling one by one, but it's just bodies being stacked up by Mighty AOD for the mass grave.
Yeah, insane. We're going to have the point A pushed in pretty damn fast time. 5 minutes in the hangar phase. This is definitely the much more achievable phase.
Oh my lord.
Put your hands away, Achilles. You're getting a bit too excited. But that was Kariv basically off his own bat there on the Widowmaker with some insane plays, insane flicks to open up. And we haven't seen the hanger phase in a very long time on Gibraltar.
Yeah, we really haven't. Gonna get a side of it now, though. Thorncut getting jumped on. The Primal Rage gonna be popped just to try to kill that Zenyatta. They get him in the end. Nox investing quite a bit, though. And AKM and Unco both go down very swiftly. Nox finding a second kill as he gets rid of TM, but payload not really being halted as it makes it about halfway through the hanger phase already. Soon trying to win this Tracer battle, trying to get a couple more shots in, but has to force the recall out on himself as he goes low. He'll have to kite back. Actually, the Winston jumping in almost takes him out.
Continues, we'd actually see the Transcendence used by Mighty. They want to keep this push up.
They're pushing forward, Pulse Bomb coming through, but it will not get the kill. Sound barrier down from both teams. Nico with the Dragon Blade drawn out, trying to find a kill here into the enemy Winston. He won't find much, but AKM is starting to pop off. 3 kills rolling through Helix Rockets, taking out Erster off the backside of that fight. So Rogue finally finding some ground to stand on. They halt the payload. It's already made it quite a ways forward, and there's still 3.5 minutes on the clock for Mighty.
While it's a severe investment to use all 3 DPS ults to get that stall, remember they got both support ults at the same time, and the DPS ults much quicker charge time than the support ults. So for now, Mighty AOD will find it hard to actually force a push, and only available right now in the game is Soldiers. Finding an approach here with no support ults is difficult. Mighty AOD.
TM popping that attack visor, does get taken out. Not safe on that high ground, nor is Fade. He gets finished off, and now you can see Mighty AOD struggling to make it through these very tiny choke points of the doorways.
They need to adjust their team comp here. The hero lineup they have right now is certainly not going to get them back onto the cart. That's why we see already the Widowmaker. Well, they needed something different because they need a new identity because they couldn't get to the cart with the current lineup.
Well, already Widowmaker having some troubles. Does stay alive here. Now has to operate off that low ground, trying to get some shots in.
No sight lines for now on top of the map right now is Rogue. Still, a lot of that 5 minutes has already been stymied by Rogue.
It's been a good hold here. Once that hangar door closes, the avenues of approach are severely limited into these choke points, so this is a good opportunity for Rogue so far. And Mighty just keeps struggling to get through.
There's no good entrances so far for Mighty, although they do get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, Nico and Unco go down. AKM here with the Nano Visor, trying to fire away in onto Fate. Gets a lot of damage onto him, but with the Primal Rage, he's still rather okay. He's finished off Thorncut. We see DM off screen going down as Nox finishes him off, but Erster will trade that one. AKM now looking for a target. Has to sprint his way back, but Mighty AOD, they finally found their way back onto the payload. Dragon Blade drawn out here by Erster. Good deflection as he tries to get the kill in onto the enemy Lucio. Won't find it. Nico trades up, winning out the Genji battle. And that'll halt the payload yet again. Kareev now struggling to find these shots. Might have to swap off yet again.
It's less about the payload being halted. This can't get access to the payload. Can Mighty AOD. They're trading down in almost every scenario. Now they get no value from the Dragon Blade. They don't have a Reinhardt to inch their way forward. They kind of need to dive in, and so far Rogue have been steadfast in stopping them from every different vantage point. 5 minutes becomes a minute and a half, and Mighty AOD haven't made many adjustments.
No, they have not. Nico going forward now. Dragon Blade drawn out. Sound barrier from both teams, keeping them alive throughout the duration of that. Genji ultimate, but Thorncut will go down. Fate trying to leap his way out. It's taken out. Unco able to finish him off, and Nico dashes forward, gets rid of sleep. So both of those supports taken out from the side of Mighty AOD, and the clock is just being bled dry now. A minute left, and they haven't been able to get it much further.
So we can call point A hiccup for Rogue, given they've really stick the landing. Absolutely, it was a apparent one. Again, the sort of thing that in VOD review they can learn a lot from.
Don't get headshot repeatedly is the VOD review.
Hot tips right there. R/Korean advice.
All right, well, Pulse Bomb comes down. They find TM, so good opener here from Soon. It's a recall off, coming around from the back flank, looking for sleep yet again. This goes down, but still trade-ups coming through from Rogue as they just go ahead, push forward, so trying to even the score. Slices away, finds Unco and Soon. Attack visor here from AKM, barely staying alive inside his healing zone. Will make it out. Oh, but right at the last second, Fate jumps forward, smacks him down. Payload starting to push yet again here for Mighty AOD. Need to stick to this one as it's just 10 seconds left on the clock. It looks like they might just get the completion here. On to point B. Does get stopped off right at the last second there by Soon. And Rogue will regain the high ground here. They try to push back in. We'll see what Mighty AOD can do. Opening onto wins from Erster is a nice one, but AKM trades back in, getting rid of the Genji. They get rid of Fate.
No one's on AKM. Great tracking
Pulse
from
Bomb
here.
from Soon comes up with a double kill.
That's
Kareev
it.
goes down. That's going to be the team wipe. And that will be the hold right in front of point B here for Rogue, but definitely sloppy at the start.
Yeah, world-class hangers phase, but point A certainly left a lot to be desired. Kariv took it off his own back, was playing with his own basketball, dunked everyone, and got them that big start. And you thought, okay, with such a big time bank, with how achievable the hanger phase is in comparison to point A on Gibraltar, thought that once again it could be a big time bank for Mighty AOD, but the Rogue class shone through on that second phase. Felt like Mighty AOD was kind of out of ideas, never switched to Reinhardt, never really looked for different ways. Once the cart was halfway down, they only got to it 2 out of 6 attacks, it felt like. And in the end of point B, basically point B, is the goal here for Rogue. First goal always is actually getting to point A, though, given that so many teams this week have failed to do that.
That's very true. So Mighty, we'll see what they're going to bring out as far as their defense is concerned. At the moment, looking like we might just have the double tank, double DPS, but Kariv is yet again going back over to that Widowmaker.
I think if anyone deserves to be a bit stubborn about his Widowmaker, it is Kariv this game.
Definitely a good performance, but he's going to need that.
It's not what Pine was running. Remember, Pine was this trio we've been talking about, the Mercy, Zenyatta, and the Widowmaker, that gives you access to body shots that do 202 damage. You can just body shot and kill one of the triple DPS, which is such in meta right now, is massive boom. You are investing 3 heroes and also heavily trusting the accuracy, so Kariv doesn't quite garner that sort of support in terms of his lineup this time.
But he does gain the respect from his teammates to say, okay, you know what, go ahead, run it on defense.
But it is a purely high ground comp. There is no dropping down here compared to the other comps. No Tracer,
it's the only one that
no
we can really
Genji. This is the sort of comp where you have to allow for some free meterage from Rogue.
Here we go.
Nico will finally be onto the Widowmaker, so this isn't Genji or Diva.
Already jumping far forward, but he doesn't see anybody.
This is a very respectful comp.
He sees them wrapping around, so he's actually going to trade off here. Doesn't want to stick with the Widowmaker.
Well, he was looking for triple DPS and didn't find it. It was a much more balanced lineup for Mighty AOD.
Well, Unko already going down. It's going to be a nice opener here. That's going to be Kariv getting a hit in onto soon. Function coming through there from Nico. The Deadly could have taken him out, but for now, AOD will hold. They could just keep playing forward, looking for Nox, who's made his way all the way into the back line. Kariv goes low, keeps himself up.
This does allow different vantage points here for Rogue. Gets him again.
Yeah, that's going to be soon going down. Doesn't quite get Unko. He'll be okay, at least for the moment, but getting rid of the Tracer is going to be quite nice. He's going to drop around to the backside. Doesn't really want to stick around there. It's just going to get chased down by Nico. Over onto the Diva now.
He never adjusted his positioning, so he'll just allow the adjustments like the Diva to ruin the Widowmaker's day, and now the dive is on from Rogue.
Yeah, really good Helix rockets there, finding Ursa around the corner to take him out. He gets rid of the M. Several members on the side of Mighty AOD going down. Lose Unko yet again, but Rogue is very much winning out the fight overall. Attack Visor's ready to go here for AKM, but you have to say that he probably doesn't need to use it. Riv's still on the high ground on that Widowmaker. Probably going to have to trade off pretty soon here, looking for the shot in onto the Tracer. Won't find it, has to back off. And that will be the completion here onto point A for Rogue. So 5 minutes in the bank, just have to make it to point B. They can go through the hanger phase. They will close out the series.
And Kariv's Widowmaker is now starting to cost them the stubbornness of staying on that big die. It's the 3rd time already this map.
Yeah, and the Infra Sight, not exactly an ultimate that you don't swap off for. So he will go ahead, utilize this time to go ahead and get onto the Tracer, try to build a pulse bomb. He needs like a multi-man explosion. Really turn the tides, because right now Rogue have plenty of momentum. About to be 5 ultimates, nearly 6 as Unko almost has that Transcendence ready to go. Meanwhile, that's going to be the Nano Visor coming out. Nico dashing forward,
completely occupied
the
by Nico.
Time. There's nothing really he can do. He does find an opening, a very slight one to pick off AKM. But Thorncut actually, the struck takes out Nox. Nice little hold here. It's going to be the 1-for-2 trade in favor of Mighty AOD at the moment, but Kariv will go down, evening the odds. As soon picks that one up. They'll lose wins, they'll lose sleep, so just back and forth from both teams to keep it as even as possible.
Nico buying so much space. He has been all over DM on the Soldier this game, negating 2 ults, just the defense matrix.
He'd love to be all over him as Genji, but it just hasn't been working out, so he's gone for the tankier side of things.
Hey, whatever gets you the big W, it's worth.
Exactly. Get that fight money. Nice drop down. Helix Rockets finding Kariv there on that Tracer. They take him out, and they just keep pushing forward. 3.5 minutes. Mighty AOD already giving up about 75% of this push over to Rogue. Victory in their sights. Now they want to close this one out. Bait jumping in, but then his corridor in on top of the monkey, and he gets taken out immediately. Nico picking that one up, just constantly holding down that left like the machine guns, burning through his HP bar. 3 kills, 4, 5. Erster, the only one left alive. That's going to be it. Rogue, definitely not as smooth of a ride as they would have liked, but they come out on top in the end. They win Gibraltar. They win their debut match with this roster on LAN in Apex Season 3.
No fist bumps or theatrics from the Rogue team. It looks like business as usual, but when it comes to some of our initial questions, okay, dominant on the online scene, can they translate to LAN? First answer is yes. The hiccups you mentioned are there. Defense specifically on Assault, and in general, Assault is a map type they haven't necessarily had to interact with, something to work on. Their defense on Gibraltar went aggressive and got punished. Again, something to iterate on, not necessarily work on. Kariv was a bit superhuman with some of his shots, but apart from that, it was the Rogue we expected. It is the Rogue who will give Kongdu Panthera and Lunatic High a real run for their money. They already topped the group because they come in 3-1 after the 3-2. But Lunatic High puts them in second.
Yeah. Well, honestly, bit of a better showing than we would have ever expected from Mighty AOD, we do have to say. Do they have a hope of making it out of this group? Probably not, given the opposition that's there, but still a breath of life for this team.
Yeah, the map win in a different group would have been a pretty big thing because, of course, 3rd and 4th place is significant in its own right because it separates you from going into the promotion tournament, but they definitely would have had their hearts drop a bit when they saw the group draw and realized that they are by far front runners to go into the promotion tournament from this group.
Yeah, exactly. And with a performance like that, I think that can at least, reinvigorate them, keep their spirits high for that potential inevitability that is on the horizon for this team. But you never know. We've seen some crazy victories in the past. Maybe Mighty AOD can pick up some wins, really upset the likes of Lunatic High and Kongdu Panthera. It's a long shot, but it's possible.
It's cool to see some innovation from Rogue as well. The Widowmaker was something different than we would have expected. That was Nico, so it's interesting to see that's in his hero pool as well. More 2-2-2 than you would have expected. More balanced comps compared to the triple DPS than you might have expected given the reputation of Rogue. But at least the reputation is intact. Rogue is certainly here to play. They are now 4-0 over the course of 2 rosters and 2 Apex tournaments in the regular season. And you can't help but look forward for those Kongdu Panthera and Lunatic High matches, because I think we have a lot of treats to bring you viewers at home.
Yeah, we certainly do. The Lunatic High match going to be coming up
2 weeks.
Later on
3
in
weeks.
the month. Yeah, 3 weeks from now. But that is going to be probably one of the most exciting matches we'll have for the entire group stage, I'd have to say. That's one of the ones I'm really looking forward to the most, especially with Rogue here now in Korea boot camping against these teams. We'll see how much they can improve in that time, especially when it comes down to those assault maps.
And the whispers are clearly not wrong. Rogue is certainly a contender for Apex Season 3 at the start. The people talking about scrims, the people who had that inside information about how well they were doing against Korean opposition were in no means incorrect, but also specifically around Assault, the game plan is there for Rogue to have a roadmap to improve even further than their lofty reputation.
Yeah.